I love to remind the Aston Villa fans that every time they comment, we get paid for it. With promotion done and dusted, with 102 points, with 3 games left to play, still a potential of getting 111 points, setting the overall EFL record, beating Reading's 106-point record and Wolves' 103 record. It's still on the cards for Blues with 3 games left, and tomorrow we get to lift the trophy. But Tom Wagner is still thinking ahead of the future with his business mindset and what he wants to do for the boys in Royal Blue and for us Bluenoses. So let's get into it. Blues legend.
You're right, mate.
One message to the Bluenoses for me.
Keep right on.
The Blues.
Come on.
Keep right on.
Keep right on. Hey, Ian. Keep right on, baby.
Fucking Blues.
Keep right on.
Come on, you Blue boys.
Keep right on.
Keep right on.
What's going on, Bluenoses? It's me again, the boy in blue, back with another video. I hope that you guys are all okay and doing okay. So yeah, we are on course for, hopefully, if we can get these results, 111 points, beating the overall total, making more history, getting the name in the books, which is superb. You know, it sets records. Records are there to be broken, and if we can do that, you know, I'll be so proud of the boys. I'm proud of them anyway. You know, we promoted, it's done and dusted. I spoke to Woody on the phone earlier. I spoke to Big Town, Zulu Town on the phone as well. And we all said the same thing. You know, it's weird. The Blues now are done and dusted. And we're watching other games in League One and just not having to worry because we're already up. You know, it's all done and dusted. But yeah, if we can get that history, that'd be superb. 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒆𝒄 as well has announced that he's going to be retiring. So Bluenoses, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And just from me, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒆𝒄, we love you, son. Up the Blues, and thank you for everything you've done for us. But we've got some articles to read out because we did have some stick at the start of the season about Blues spending 30 million.
They've got themselves in this position financially before, and it seems like it's just been gone all the way back to the start, and they're doing it again. But from my point of view, you don't have to spend that amount of money on one player to get out of League One. I just don't understand why you think that. I think. But
with Tom Wagner's business head and generating all that revenue, I mean, I'm just going to show you how many partnership deals that we've got already. And this is just through the hard work of the club. So, I mean, you can see how many sponsors we got and why we can spend what we can. And for those that are doubting us, we're going to be doubling that this season because we can. So, yeah, we got Nike, we got Undefeated, Delta, University of Birmingham, Mixar, Virtue, Visit Birmingham City, Alabama in the USA. I'm pretty sure that Davo Birmingham's been there as well from Davo Diaries, Tax Pro, AMG Logistics. I know that they sponsor a few Blues YouTube channels as well, so fair play to them. Installations, Intercity, 11 Sports Media, See It Unique, Bell Plumbing Supplies, Blue Guardian. You know, it just keeps on going. So all this has created us the opportunity for us to get relegated, unfortunately, but it's turned out better in the long run because we've gone down, we've had a reset, brought in 17 players, 17 gone. I mean, also, as well, I was talking about this to my dad and Woody and stuff, you know, I mean, imagine if we had that squad and we couldn't invest, I reckon we would have gone down again if we had that squad last season. So, yeah, it's been a blessing in disguise. We're back up now. That small blip that we was on about is officially done. On to the future, on to the next thing. But I've got some articles to read out, Bluenoses, and I'd love for you guys to get your thoughts and get your comments in. But before I read these articles out, I did ask you guys about what players you would potentially keep and what players you'd let go. So I'm just going to read out your comments now, if I can just up under this video. So I'm going to share this screen with you now, guys. So this is a video that I'd done a couple of days ago, and it was asking you, and I did say that I'd read out your comments. So stand for truth. This season, not only did Blues get professional, but so did Jay with his big black mic and Nick with his headphones. Next season, you can do pitch side interviews. Oh, cheers, mate. Asking for my favourite player is like asking which is my favourite child. I love that comment, Julie. Having said that, it's Clara all the way for me. Absolutely love him. Yeah, he's a brick wall, isn't he? He's got to be the best signing in the whole of the EFL League One, surely. Luke Brown, my player of the season, is an easy choice for me, despite the fact that you could make arguments for several players for me. It is the player with the target on his back from well before the first whistle blew on the first game of the season, number 28, Jay Stansfield. He, for me, has held his nerve while spending the season under the microscope. He's carving our legacy at Birmingham, and he's my favourite player. Cracking comment, that, mate. I love it. Let's have a look, see if we've got any more. Fancy Jay to take League One by storm. Believe in 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒆𝒄. Williamson deserves the opportunity too. Newman looks class. Clara Bielik-Davis, all solid lead, should do it at this level. Cochrane too. I believe we need quality, powerful frontman, and two pacey wingers and competition for Allsop. George, Poku is exactly the type of player we need. I think that most of us know about how much Engelman goes on about the Swift wingers. You do, mate. But expensive for my liking. Thank God it's not my spend, but remember who has brought him to you. Keep right on. Let's have a look at, Stevenage 1, Birmingham 2, away win, 102 points. Break Wolves' record with a home win against Mansfield on Sunday, 105 points. Keep right on. Nick's 7-8-70. Clara player of the season, standout young player of the season. Iwata goal of the season. Special mention to Allsop. He hates Villalol. Superb, son. Keep right on. Stu, for me, it's Jay. It's standout or Clara for player of the season. Also, obviously, to keep them. Others to stay. Iwata, Pike, mate. Leonard, Laird, Anderson, Allsop, Cochrane, Taylor Gordon Hickman, Samstead, Williamson, Dowell, maybe. Davis and Hanley for experience, but depends on their clubs. I think the rest will go, mate. Hope the Duke stays on in some capacity. So keep the core players and replace and build again. Keep right on. Alan, Jay, I looked at the league and you can see how much we have smashed it in 2 games in hand as well and never get sick. It's that time. The so-called experts send it up to the sky, especially the little rat Hendry. Stano has 23 goals. We have walked the league. So fuck them all. Keep right on. Thought Williamson stayed back in centre mid against Burton. Think he'll do the same against Stevenage. This is historic position from which he learned to advance into the 6-yard box. Keep right on. John, I've just cast my votes on the Blues website. I've gone for player of the season, Christoph Clara, young player of the season, Jay Stansfield. Goal of the season, Iwata versus Newcastle. As for the players I would keep or get rid, I really only need to list the ones I would get rid. Bailey Peacock-Farrell, Dion Sanderson, Tyler Roberts, Willem Willinson, Lyndon Dykes, Luke Harris, Kieran Dell, Grant Hanley. As for Dukey, I really hope the club can keep him around in some kind of role. He'll be great. Yeah, so Bluenoses, get your thoughts on these comments for the ones who didn't have a chance to comment as well. It'd be really good for you guys to get your thoughts, get your comments in on what players you'd want to keep going into the Championship and which ones you'd be happy to part ways with. We got 2 more articles to read out, and Tom Wagner is already thinking ahead of the future, and this is what I love about him. You know, he's got his business mindset on. He doesn't have to know the ins and outs of football like people looking in at Blues keep saying. It doesn't matter. He's got people that work below him to do that, so that's got nothing to do with what he's doing. He's looking at ways to make Blues financially more a stable run football club, and I'm just going to read this article out to you now. And I mean, this is the ambitions he's got already. So he's come out with Tom Wagner. I can't wait for Birmingham to take on Aston Villa in Europe. Birmingham City's co-owner discusses how he plans to turbocharge the club's finances along with Tom Brady and propel them into the pinnacle of the game. Tom Wagner is a numbers guy, which I said, you know, he's a businessman, an accounting graduate, Luminous Columbia Business School, a former Goldman, such as distressed debt trader as co-founder of United Capital, the £10 billion investment fund that acquired a controlling stake in Birmingham City almost 2 years ago. His focus on the numbers shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. Still, there is something ruthlessly calculated and oddly refreshing about the way that Wagner uses the numbers as a proxy for mapping out Birmingham's route to the very top of English football. So he doesn't just want to get us promoted, he wants us at the top. You know what I mean? He ain't messing about. I mean, look, we can all dream, like Lee Hendry said. start of the pre-season, but I choose to believe. I love this football club. I love you, and nothing is impossible. I mean, look at Leicester. A few years back, they got promoted. Who would have thought that they'd gone on a massive run and ended up winning the Premier League as well? So anything's possible. I choose to believe it. Take your start point in planning for the next season when Chris Davies or conquering League One champions return to the Championship after a potentially record-breaking season in the third tier. Parachute payment clubs have roughly 1 in 4 chance of getting promoted. Wagner says of rival teams endured by payments of up to 49 million post-relegation from the Premier League. Non-parachute clubs have a 1 in 16 chance. So, okay, if we can achieve parachute level revenues, we're 4 times more likely to get promoted. I mean, there he is. Look, he just loves it. Look, absolutely loves it. If our revenue progresses as we expect into next season, which it's going to, because he's like absolutely smashing it. I mean, I've just showed you how many sponsorship deals we've got already, which is basically certainty we'll be the highest revenue generating club in the Championship. We've done that last season and the season before as well. Even when we got relegated, we still had the most generated revenue. We'll be the highest revenue generated club in the Championship, however, not receiving parachute payments, and we will be on par with those receiving parachute payments. If we then progress 1 year further and we're fortunate enough to end up in the Premier League, we'll be a mid-table club or better in total revenue first year in. When you get inside the top 8, those clubs are real financial powerhouses. But between 9 and 12, there's space to move into that sphere and compete with clubs that are 6, 7, 8 in total revenue. I think we can get there very quickly. So, he's very optimistic. He's already thinking about the future. We're still in League One. As it stands recording this video, he's already thinking like well ahead. We're not even in the Championship yet. What he's really talking about is turning Birmingham into commercial giant. He's talking about already lucrative sponsorship deals with Nike, Delta Airlines, and sportswear brand Undefeated, among others. Soaring value as Birmingham return to the Championship. He does the Premier League. He's talking about leveraging the profile of Birmingham minority shareholder, the 7-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady, and the initiative bonus scheme, whereby the club are paid for hitting social media targets. I love to remind the Aston Villa fans that every time they comment, we get paid for it. Oh, class, son. Class, Tom. Please keep it up, Wagner says. And it ain't just that as well. What I love the most, right, for me, is the fact that they've had the best season in years. They've been in the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup, and they're still watching Blues videos. I absolutely love it. And as well, all these teams that they've been playing against in the Champions League, all these big teams, PSG, they've all been coming to the Blues stores and buying all Blues stuff. It's like, that's also generated all our revenues. Also, cheers, Villa. Awesome. He's also talking about the new Amazon Prime documentary series about the club airing this summer about targeting and growing a global fan base. There isn't a single highly competitive club on a grand scale without a global fan base, he says. It's natural place to start. And he's talking about it all, about Birmingham's plans for a $3 billion sports quarter with a 62,000-seat stadium as its centrepiece, less than a mile from their home of 119 years St Andrews, where we have the sports quarter, and we will do some other commercial things that we are focused on. Then we can have a pathway to the very top, because all this creates jobs, creates revenue. We go there, we spend more on food, drinks, tickets, season tickets, clothing, merch, yada, yada, yada. The list is endless, and this is how we get our revenue in. So for the ones that are slating us about spending money, we're doing it by the book, we're doing it right, and we can. As United's first season at St Andrews is underlined, deep pockets are by no means guarantee of success. The 23-24 campaign was a catastrophe. 4 managers catalysed by continuous decision to jettison John, Eustace, Wayne Rooney, and relegation to the third tier for the first time in almost 3 decades. Many of those decisions, Wagner explains during an hour-long audience with the Times in London last week, were a little bit ad hoc, maybe a bit rushed, because we hadn't had the period over the summer that we wanted to make changes. Certain decisions look mistaken with hindsight, but I think that ultimately caused the club to be relegated to Tony Mowbray's successor falling ill. The spell of matches is following. He's having a step back after cancerous diagnosis. We're far and away the worst performance the club had during the season. That was wholly unexpected and a horrible thing. Nearly every manager we've had, I stay in contact with even now. Oh, fair play to him, including John Eustace, who I wish nothing but the very best of success. I think it's hard to step into ownership days before the season begins. If our ambition means that sometimes we stumble along the way, I'll take the consequences of that. So he's got big shoulders. He ain't afraid to get slated. You know, people slate him on social media. He got slated about speaking to the players at the Virtua Cup trophy, the way he's talking to the players. He ain't bothered. He loves it. He's got the best... for an owner, he's got the best quote ever. FEA, fuck them all. I don't care. Birmingham will be presented with the League One trophy at St Andrews on Sunday with 102 points from 43 games, record League One and EFL points. Tallies are within reach. Wagner admits that it may reflect upon Birmingham's season in the third tier as a springboard they needed after years of neglect under the previous owners. Birmingham Sports Holdings Limited. There's a bit of disagreement between myself and Tom Brady as to whether or not there's a silver lining in the relegation Wagner. I think it's allowed us to establish a winning mentality and culture. That's not just on the pitch, that's backroom staff, support staff, everybody that works in the club, and maybe most importantly, among our supporters, where an expectation of success was something that had not existed for a very long period of time. Changing the mindset was critical, and it has. The unity between the fans... First of all, I'll say this, it's you guys that make Blues for me. Going down the Blues, you know, sellouts all season as well, and just being in your presence, like unbelievable the way we sing. I absolutely love it. There ain't no club like it. I'm a true Blue patriot, even though I'm a Black Country boy. I love the Blues. My dad's brought me up to be a Blue Nose since I've been born. So, you know, I've always experienced that, and it's something I stand by. And credit to you as well, because you've also, along with me, you know, going to the games, we've all generated our money and pumped into the club where we've had new kits, tops, food, drinks. I mean, I love an hot dog. I had 3 hot dogs the one week, 3 foot of pork with some beers. Superb. Cheers, Tom. But yeah, where we found the guy, Wagner and Brady interviewed managerial candidates together last summer, and after their Zoom call with Davies, the former assistant to Brendan Rodgers and Ange Postecoglou immediately said to each other, well, we found the guy. Tom is engaged within the club from 365 days a year. Wagner says not a day goes by where he and I don't FaceTime or talk or message about Birmingham. And there you have it. So we are in for a treat in the next few seasons. But things are going to be changing going into the Championship as well, because we got VAR this next season. So that's going to be a bit of a change and a bit of an odd one. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy that, to be honest. But same again, Bluenoses. Everything I've mentioned or I've spoke about, I'd love for you guys to get your thoughts, get your comments in, and yeah, just keep right on. Come on, you Blue boys. We're going to be lifting the trophy tomorrow, and hopefully we can win. Put us on 105 points. Let's have it.
Who's that? Me? Oh, yeah, you. Sorry. Hello.
Wherever we go, we go. Tony and Dad.
7-0 now, I'm here. Best fucking habits.